This is my third year at Smoky Hill. This is my sixth year of teaching overall, and I'm currently only teaching physics this year at Smoky Hill. And last year I taught 3 levels of physics, but this year I'm only doing 1 level of physics. And so we will be able to kind of experiment with different labs and go through there and have a whole lot of fun. So email is the best way to contact me. If you would like to talk on the phone, we can set up an email appointment, and I can call you during one of my off periods, or you can shoot me a Schoology message and go from there. I am from Wichita, Kansas, and so that is just north of Oklahoma, or southwest of Kansas City, if you know where that's at. But I got my 2 degrees from there, and I am dual certified. So if anybody needs help in math, let me know. I will say that is my 9-year-old son. He goes to Indian Ridge. So if you went to Indian Ridge, holla. He is in Mr. Swanson's 4th grade class right now. And he's 9 years old going on 30, right? And then that's my white dog. She's a Great Pyrenees. She's the runt, but she's a retired children's therapy dog. So she's very loyal, very loving, love her to death. And then that is my roommate's boxer pit bull mix and her bearded dragon. So we have a quite eclectic mix. Oh, and we just got a Rottweiler puppy from next door. So lots of fun in our household. And then our course. So here's where you came for. We are in physics, so we're going to study the physical world, if you could have guessed it. We are doing motion and forces first, and so those will be our first 2 units. Now, my favorite will be when we get into energy and momentum, and we talk about collisions. And I hope to bring in people like CDOT or people from a couple of science museums around here and talk about, well, probably virtually bring them in, but we'll talk about a few applications, and as their second bullet point talks about skills of science experimentation, problem solving, and engineering design, because the goal of this class is to take you out into the real world and say, okay, here's physics, and then here's what you need to do in order to excel in the real world. And so whether or not you're going to use physics in the real world, in your brain, you should be able to take the skills you use in my class into the real world. So if you don't remember the kinematic equations, that's fine. You should be able to remember how to think critically, how to work together and collaborate, see bullet point 4, and to explicitly state what you want to do or what you want to say when you're presenting or when you're talking to somebody. And so those are the key points of what you should be getting out of my class. Now, as far as the remote learning piece goes, I'm pretty excited. Not that I get to see you once a week, which is horrible in my opinion, because I would love to see you more than once a week. But remote learning is great because then I don't have to assign homework. I can basically say, hey, let's watch these videos, or let's do this quick problem solving set, and then come into class and we can practice what you went over or what you processed at home. And so that is my goal, basically. It's what we call a flipped classroom model. And I've run these classes before. I did it with AP Chemistry when I taught in Kansas. I did it with pre-calculus when I taught at Oberlin. And so they ran really well in most units, and some units couldn't be run that way. And so we're just going to kind of play it by ear and give each other grace. And if you're struggling, ask me for help. If your student is struggling, come and let me know. And all I ask for is open communication, and I will communicate with you. So, moving on. Here are some examples of projects. So, top right, we have stop motion videos. And so these 2 girls were doing Barbies in a Corvette. And so they were talking about acceleration and measuring along the floor. And so we're going to be using web-based programs and apps on the phone. And so they'll be taking pictures and putting them into a video. And so this way they can demonstrate how they know what's speeding up, what's slowing down, what that looks like on a graph, and that type of thing. Now, in the left here in the middle, that's cardboard boats. And so crossing my fingers that we will be able to do this. And if we will, it will most likely be in this spring. And I have tons of cardboard, but if you want to start saving cardboard for the spring, you're welcome to. And in the bottom right, we have something that we did with gravity, and that's with parachutes. And so if we get into gravity as in depth as I would like, we'll work with some parachutes and measuring the force of gravity and the acceleration due to gravity as objects fall. Then we get into some of the work that we do when we look at comparing more than one representation for a topic. So like an equation, a graph, and that type of thing. And that is good ACT practice, SAT practice, both of those. And then we have, this was a foam marble roller coaster. And so I would love to build things like this out of either foam, or we could do cardboard, either way works, and get into the experimental design and the basically the flaws and the pros and the cons of everything, and try and work into, okay, if this works, why? If this doesn't work, why? And really talk with students about the why behind what scientists do, and the why behind what maybe business personnel do, and all of that stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me and we can chat. If your students have any questions, feel free to have them bring them in Wednesday or Friday. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.